أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. With the grace of Allah, today the National Ijtima of Lajna Ma'illah UK is reaching its conclusion. You who are the members of Lajna Ma'illah are those ladies and girls who have accepted the Imam of the age, the Prophet Messiah al-Islam. Always remember that the Jamaat founded by the Prophet Messiah al-Islam is that Jamaat which, according to the commands of Allah given in the Holy Quran and according to the prophecies of the Holy Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was to be established in the latter days. At the time of the Prophet Messiah al-Islam, the written text of the Holy Quran was preserved in its original form, and there were still vast numbers of people who call themselves Muslims in the world. There was a big number of people, vast number of people who had memorized the Holy Quran. However, in truth, the vast majority had completely forgotten the true teachings of the Holy Quran. Thus, Allah the Almighty sent the Prophet Messiah al-Islam to establish a community who would once again manifest the true teachings of Islam in the world. Indeed, the Prophet Messiah al-Islam said that Allah desires for His Jamaat to be an example to all others. He explained that to be an example means that when others see or hear you, they are influenced and seek to imitate that they have witnessed. So today, you are those people who, having entered the fold of the Prophet Messiah al-Islam, have pledged to live your lives according to Islam's true teachings and to spread them far and wide. On another occasion, the Prophet Messiah al-Islam said that his followers should forsake all types of personal desires and emotions, because having claimed to be Ahmadis, and having claimed to follow the true teachings of Islam, others would surely look at them extremely critically. He said that others would assess the standards of his followers, and so it was imperative that Ahmadi Muslims maintained the very highest standards of morals and kept only good habits. He said his followers must always follow the commands of Allah so that no one could cast aspersions on them or say that they were not good Muslims, or there was no difference between Ahmadis and others. Therefore, every Ahmadi, man and woman, should understand their heavy responsibilities. If they do not set a positive example to others, then it will not only reflect badly upon them, but upon the entire Jamaat. Whether a person is member of Lajna-e-Ma'illah, Khudamul Ahmadiyya, or Majlis Ansarullah, they must always seek to abide by the true teachings of Islam. Certainly, if their own examples are weak, then their tabligh and efforts to convey true Islam will have no impact, and no one will listen to them. The Prophet Islam has also said that if his community wishes to be considered a true Jamaat, then it is essential that all members set aside their personal desires and wishes for the sake of their faith. Indeed, on countless occasions, the Prophet Muhammad has given us instructions and the most beautiful guidance that we must always keep in view. Lajna-e-Ma'illah includes the books of Prophet Muhammad in its educational syllabus, and many members do read them, and some even give test papers about them. We also regularly quote the books of the Prophet ﷺ at Jalsas and Ijtimas in our addresses and speeches. However, the real question is to what extent are we acting upon his words and instructions. For example, the Prophet ﷺ said that every Ahmadi should read his book, Kishti Nuh, Ark of Noah, repeatedly. This book also contains a lot of guidance for Ahmadi women, because the Prophet ﷺ has written about the qualities and virtues that women should seek and how they should live their lives. Remember, there are three types of people. Firstly, there are people who do not have knowledge or information, and so if they make mistakes, they can be forgiven. Secondly, those people who have knowledge of what is right and yet still act in the wrong way, and so they will obviously be held to account for their actions. The third type of people are those who have knowledge of what is right but knowingly act contrary to those teachings, whilst still instructing others to reform themselves. This can only be classed as pure hypocrisy. It is therefore essential that before looking at others, every Ahmadi Muslim looks at himself and assess his or her own state. They must question if they are truly following the teachings of the Prophet Musa alayhi salam. They must truthfully assess whether they are abstaining from immorality and sin. First and foremost, it is the duty of the Jamaat and Lajna office bearers to spiritually and morally reform themselves. Only if they pay attention to this can they ensure the tarbiyat and moral training of other Ahmadis and set an example for others to follow. However, if office bearers do not uphold the correct standards, it will negatively impact the entire Jamaat. So again, I reiterate that first of all, the office bearers must realize their personal responsibilities and look at their own standards. Our system is such that if every office bearer from the grassroots level to the regional and national levels is able to bring about a positive change in themselves, automatically it will mean that around 50% of our membership will be those who are following the true teachings of Islam. They will be a means of inspiring our young girls and other members towards goodness and virtue. They will show others that giving precedence to your faith over all worldly matters means to set aside your personal desires for the sake of Allah the Almighty. I have already mentioned that the Prophet Musa alayhi salam said that it was essential that Ahmadis read his books for the sake of their own moral training. He also said that it was imperative that every Ahmadi read the Holy Quran repeatedly and sought to understand its true meanings and to live their lives according to its commandments. Furthermore, the Prophet Musa alayhi salam said it was essential to seek the nearness of Allah the Almighty. And the way to do this is to develop a great love of worship and prayer within one's home. As mothers, you can only inculcate a love of worship within your children when you yourself fulfill the rites of worship and perform all your prayers and manifest true devotion to God. The Prophet Musa alayhi salam has repeatedly counseled the members of his Jamaat to show love and compassion towards each other, because without this, the unity of our Jamaat will be compromised. He taught that each Ahmadi should display true love and affection to others, and that if they did so, Allah would show love to them. Certainly, Allah's love is the means to true peace and contentment. Therefore, always seek to spread compassion and kindness within society. You should not just hope for the best for yourself and your families, but should desire that all people are able to live with peace, security, and in comfort. We claim to show love for all, and, and so our love should not just be exhibited towards others, but we must display love amongst ourselves. Thus, do not speak ill of others, but instead help and care for one another. Do not spread rumors or highlight the weaknesses of others. Rather, share their burdens and try to remove their difficulties and provide ease for them. Always remember that Allah has said in the Quran that true believers are those who maintain a spirit of compassion and sympathy. and so those who wish to be counted amongst true believers and who wish to follow the teachings of the Holy Quran must always display love, empathy, and kindness. If you respect others and are open-hearted, you will see that many bad habits, such as speaking ill of others, will naturally die away, and this is extremely important in today's society. Recently, I laid the foundation stone for new mosques, both in Holland and in Germany. In both countries, female non-Muslim guests commented that what the Khalifa has said is excellent and is a means of spreading peace and love in the world. However, they also said that they would now wait and see if the Ahmadis lived up to his words and followed these beautiful teachings. Therefore, do not have any doubt that people's eyes are on you and they wish to see if Ahmadis practice what they preach. Thus, all Ahmadis, all Lajna members must understand the expectations that the Prophet Messiah Islam had of us. Try our utmost to fulfill them so that we can be ambassadors of true Islam. With great anguish, the Prophet Messiah Islam also said that until an Ahmadi understands the reality of what is meant and required by their ba'ath, they cannot attain true freedom and salvation. He said that we should not just superficially note the words of the ba'ath, but should seek to understand its true essence and meaning. He said that only when an Ahmadi truly understands what ba'ath represents can they fulfill its requirements. Regarding the conditions of ba'ath, I gave a series of sermons that were later published as a book, and earlier this year I also gave a sermon about how to live your life in light of the conditions of ba'ath. These are all easily available. Certainly, we should constantly reflect upon the conditions of our pledge, and the Lajna administration should also ensure that the requirements and conditions of ba'ath are discussed and taught at Lajna events and meetings. If we look at the very first condition of ba'ath, each Ahmadi pledges to avoid all forms of shirk. that is associating partners with Allah. There are actually many types of shirk. And so we must avoid them at all costs. In our daily lives, things that may be considered as relatively insignificant can also be classed as shirk, and so we must be extremely watchful. For example, if you praise someone in order to fulfill your own purpose or to gain benefit, it is a form of shirk. Another example is where a person pursues his own personal desires to such an extent that he forgets the duties he owes to Allah. Another condition of bai'at is that an Ahmadi must avoid all forms of falsehood. It is not enough to only forego deceit, but it is also the duty of an Ahmadi to establish truth. If all our Ahmadi women sought to abandon all forms of falsehood collectively and to establish nothing but truth, it would lead to the widespread reformation of the members of our Jamaat. This is because our women train their children, and if they are able to inculcate the importance of truth within them, it will have a huge and long-lasting effect, inshallah. The Prophet ﷺ has also said that Ahmadis should abstain from saying anything that can cause conflict or disturbance to others. Repeatedly, he spoke about how we should never seek to usurp the rights of others or to act unjustly. The Prophet ﷺ spoke about the importance of obedience and to abide by the nizam of the Jamaat. Thus, there is a great responsibility on each Ahmadi to obey the Khalifa of the time and through him the nizam of our Jamaat. The Prophet ﷺ has said that his followers should seek to suppress their personal aspirations because Satan uses such desires to try and push people into the wrong direction. This too is an extremely important teaching that you should always keep in view. In the conditions of bai'at, the Prophet ﷺ also stipulated that an Ahmadi must never seek to cause pain or harm to anyone, whether they are Ahmadis or not. Always remember that the conditions of bai'at and the instruction of the Prophet ﷺ are the means of true salvation and are the means of peace and harmony in our lives. These are the values that are required more than ever in today's society. These are the means of bringing people closer to their Creator. They are the means of establishing peace in our homes. It is these values that we must try and inculcate into our children so that our future generations grow to become those who value their faith and who bear the highest moral standards. These are the values we must instill in our children so that they prove to be shining examples of Islam's true teachings. In my recent tour, I spoke about these Islamic values at a function in Germany. And upon hearing my words, a local German lady said that she was extremely delighted to hear that these were Islamic principles and values. She said, there was no doubt that such values were the keys to peace, both in a person's home and in the wider society. She said these were the very values she wished to instill in her children. However, unfortunately, in school, sometimes they taught things contrary to this in the name of freedom. All of you who are part of Lajna Mailla, who claim to be the servants of Allah, must therefore understand your responsibilities towards your children. You must establish the very highest standards and values within your homes. You must act according to Allah's commands. This is of particular importance, considering you are living in a society where it is easy for our children to be misled or misguided. Sometimes children can pick up wrong things or habits from their schools or outside. And so you must give ample time to your children. You must explain to them what is right and what is wrong. You must instill within them those values that are to be cherished and protected. You must explain Islamic teachings to them and tell them that these are the commands of Allah, and it was to re-establish these values that Allah sent the Prophet Messiah alayhi salam. In terms of their school education, of course, you should encourage your children to learn and to attain the highest standards. However, if in this name of freedom, the schools ever teach things that are contrary to Islam, then you should explain clearly to your children what our values and beliefs are. This is a great responsibility laid before you, because one day the world's reformation will be the task of your children. Certainly, Allah has given the task of the reformation of the world to the Jamaat of the Prophet Messiah alayhi salam. And so we must pay heed to this great responsibility. Only then will we be able to protect our societies and to guide others towards the true teachings of Islam. Only then will we be able to serve, to save our children and future generations. With the grace of Allah, the world's attention and focus is moving in the direction of our Jamaat. People are starting to recognize us and listen to our message. Each day, Allah is opening new avenues of tabligh, and this is something some of you will have experienced yourselves. However, as these doors open, it becomes even more important that each Ahmadi seeks to bring about those pious changes that the Prophet Messiah alayhi salam desired from his followers. Through such changes, the doors of tabligh will continue to open, inshallah. In this era, Allah the Almighty has also enabled our Jamaat to benefit from modern forms of communication and the media. This is proving a great means of spreading the message of Islam far and wide. For example, through MTA, the message of our Jamaat is reaching all corners of the world. However, this also increases our responsibilities, because those who are hearing our message will also look in our direction to see if we are practicing what we preach. If they observe that the teachings we are conveying are pure, but the standards of the Ahmadis themselves are weak, then instead of having a positive impact, it may have the opposite. It is also possible that if others hear our message but feel that old Ahmadis are not living up to the required standards, they will take it upon themselves to spread the true teachings of Islam and to live their lives accordingly. In that case, the success and progress of your Jamaat, or of our Jamaat, Jamaat of Prophet Muhammad Islam, will be aligned to those pious newcomers, and those left behind will be deprived of these blessings. Thus, do not let yourself fall behind. Rather, seek to be at the forefront of conveying the truth of Ahmadiyyat, not only with your words, but with your conduct and deeds. Be the sources of light that illuminate the truth of Islam. As I have said, today we are able to utilize modern technology to convey our teachings. Apart from MTA, we also have Jamaat websites in which programs and books filled with knowledge and information are easily available. You must seek to avail these resources and constantly increase in your knowledge. In terms of MTA, every Lajna member should attach themselves to it and be regular in watching its programs. At the very least, they should ensure that watch my Friday sermons and the other programs of Khalifatul Masih. And they should make sure their children also sit and listen. Those girls who have grown up here in the UK should also ensure they are closely attached to MTA and the Jamaat websites. They should make sure they watch the programs of Khalifa Waqt, as this will be the means of their spiritual and moral development and will increase their religious knowledge. In all parts of the world, people are joining the fold of Ahmadiyyat, having recognized its truth through watching MTA. For example, recently, a man from an extremely tiny and remote island near France wrote that somehow he had come across MTA, and my sermon was being broadcast. In the sermon, I spoke about the death of Jesus Christ, and after listening to it, the man said he was certain that it was the correct teaching. He then went on the internet to research the Jamaat and watched our programs on YouTube. And after doing so, he said he was sure of the truth of Ahmadiyyat. And so, with the grace of Allah, he did Bai'at. There are also many Ahmadi women who join our Jamaat and are extremely strong in their faith. For example, when I was recently in Holland, I met an Ahmadi lady who had 2 children and who had come from France to meet me. She told me that after accepting Ahmadiyyat, her husband had rejected her and removed her from her home. However, she remained firm and resolute in her faith in Ahmadiyyat. Naturally, most women wish to live comfortable lives with their families and to live with comfort and ease. Yet, still there are women who are ready to bear all forms of hardship, difficulty, and persecution for the sake of their faith and belief in the Prophet Messiah Islam. That is the state of true believer, that he or she is willing to sacrifice all forms of comfort and to patiently bear all trials and tribulations for the sake of their faith. The vast majority of you are those who were born Ahmadi, and so you do not face such difficulties or problems. Thus, you should always be extremely thankful to Allah for the blessings He has bestowed upon you. And the way to be thankful is to increase your religious knowledge and to act upon Islam's true teachings and to inculcate them within your children. You will display true gratitude only when you are amongst those who give priority to their faith over all worldly matters. In conclusion, I say again that you should seek to develop those righteous changes within yourself that the Prophet Messiah Islam desired of us. Whatever he taught was in accordance with the true teachings of the Holy Quran and are the means of becoming closer to Allah. Remember, Allah has said that He rewards those who are near to Him in ways that they can never imagine. If you give precedence to your faith, then surely Allah will bestow upon you the blessings of both this world and the next. He will remove your difficulties and concerns, and a true feeling of contentment will enter your hearts. When a person reaches this state, they no longer have worldly desires, and all that remains in their heart is the love of Allah and their faith. When a person reaches such a standard, it can be said that they have truly fulfilled the purpose of their creation. May all of you prove to be members of Lajna-e-Ma'allah, and not just in name, but in deed and conduct, and to be true servants of Allah. May all of you always fulfill the expectations of the Prophet Messiah Islam. May you become torchbearers who shine a light on the true teachings of Islam. And may Allah enable you to spread the true teachings of the Holy Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to forever abide by the perfect teachings of the Holy Quran. May Allah bless Lajna-e-Ma'allah in all respects. उसके बाद मैं कुछ उर्दू में भी बाज़ उर्दू बोलने वालों के लिए कहूँगा। ये बहुत सारी बातें मैंने कही हैं बड़े आसान अल्फाज में, और ये चंद मुख्तलिफ़ पॉइंट्स बयान किए हैं जो मसीह मौला इस्लाम ने मुख्तलिफ़ वक्तों में नसीहत की। इनका उर्दू तर्जुमा करके भी लजना-ए-मa'ल्ला उर्दू पढ़ने वालियों को पहुँचा देगी। यहाँ पाकिस्तान से आजकल नए हिजरत करके बहुत सारे लोग आ रहे हैं। ये नई आने वालियाँ भी याद रखें कि यहाँ, मैं पहले भी कह चुका हूँ, कई दफ़ा कहा और कहता रहता हूँ कि यहाँ इसलिए आप आई हैं कि आज़ादी से अपने दीन का इजहार कर सकें, आज़ादी से अपने दीन पर अमल कर सकें। बस इस बात को हमेशा सामने रखें कि आपकी हिजरत दीन की वजह से है, और ये आप पर एक ज़िम्मेदारी डालती है। इस ज़िम्मेदारी को आपने निभाना है। दीन की आज़ादी को हासिल करने के लिए यहाँ आई हैं, तो इस दीन की आज़ादी का اظہار زیادہ سے زیادہ آپ کی حالتوں سے ہونا چاہیے، نہ کہ دنیاوی آزادی کا۔ یہ نہ ہو کہ یہاں آ کر دین کو بھول جائیں اور دنیاوی رونقوں میں ڈوب جائیں۔ دنیاوی آزادی کو ترجیح دینے لگ جائیں دین پر، صرف پیسہ کمانے کی طرف توجہ نہ رہے، یا صرف اپنے خامدوں کو اسی بات کی طرف توجہ نہ دلاتی رہیں کہ پیسے کماؤ اور لے کر آؤ، بلکہ اپنے گھروں میں دین کا ماحول پیدا کریں، اپنے گھروں میں اپنے بچوں کو ایسے ماحول دینے کی کوشش کریں جہاں دین کو ترجیح دی جاتی ہو۔ بچوں میں وہ سمجھ اور بوجھ پیدا کریں جس سے ان کو یہ احساس ہو کہ دین مقدم ہے اور دنیا بعد میں۔ جیسا کہ میں نے کہا کہ اگر عورتیں اپنے گھروں کو سنبھال لیں تو اگلی نسل سنبھل جائے گی۔ عورتوں کی اگر عبادت گزار ہیں تو اکثریت مردوں کی بھی اصلاح ہو سکتی ہے، اور پھر کم از کم جیسا کہ میں نے کہا کہ آئندہ نسل کی اصلاح تو ہوگی، آئندہ یہ تو تسلی ہوگی جماعت کو اور خلیفہ وقت کو کہ نسلیں سنبھالی جا رہی ہیں۔ یہ نسلیں سنبھالنا آپ کا کام ہے اور بہت بڑی ذمہ داری ہے، اس کی طرف توجہ دیں۔ کشتی نو کا میں نے حوالہ دیا ہے، اس میں بہت ساری نصائح عورتوں کو مسیح موعود علیہ السلام نے فرمائی ہیں۔ یہ بھی اس میں ہے کہ خامدوں سے ناجائز مطالبات نہ کرو۔ یہ بھی ٹھیک ہے کہ خامد ایسے بھی ہیں جو خیال نہیں رکھتے، لیکن یہ بھی حقیقت ہے کہ ایسی بیویاں بھی ہیں جو خامدوں سے ناجائز مطالبات بھی کرتی ہیں، چاہے کم ہوں۔ بچوں کو طرف توجہ دیں۔ میں نے بات یہ بھی بیان کی اپنے اس خطاب میں کہ بچوں کی اسکول کی تعلیم کی طرف توجہ دینے کی ضرورت ہے، اور ضروری ہے کہ ان کو پڑھائیں، لیکن ساتھ دینی تعلیم بھی دیں۔ اور جب اسکول بھیجیں تو ان پر توجہ دے کے بھیجیں، یہ نہ سمجھیں کہ یہاں اگر بچے اسکول جا رہے ہیں اور تعلیم حاصل کر رہے ہیں اس لیے ہماری ذمہ داری ختم ہو گئی۔ ایک تو یہاں کے اسکولوں میں کو ایک شکوہ پیدا ہونے لگ گیا ہے کہ پہلے احمدی بچے ہمارے اسکولوں میں آتے تھے تو سب سے زیادہ ڈسپلنڈ بچے ہوتے تھے اور پڑھائی کی طرف توجہ دینے والے ہوتے تھے، لیکن اب مائیں توجہ نہیں دیتی۔ اسکولوں میں اگر بلائیں بھی ماں باپ کو تو وہ جاتے نہیں، اور جس کی وجہ سے بچے نگلیکٹ ہو رہے ہیں۔ ان کو یہ خیال پیدا ہو رہا ہے، احساس پیدا ہو رہا ہے کہ اسکولوں میں باقی بچوں کے ماں باپ آتے ہیں، ہمارے نہیں آتے۔ اس لیے چاہے آپ کو زبان آتی ہے نئے آنے والوں کو یا نہیں آتی، اسکول میں جہاں اسکول میں بچوں کو داخل کرایا ہے تو وہاں جا کے ان کی حالت کا پتہ کرتی رہا کریں، اور اگر زبان نہیں آتی تو لجنہ کے ذریعے سے یا اپنے طور پر اپنی دوستوں اور سہیلیوں کے ذریعے سے کسی کو ساتھ لے جایا کریں، تاکہ وہاں جا کر بچے کی حالت کا وہ پتہ لگتا رہے، اور اسکول کو اگر کوئی شکایت ہے تو وہ بھی پتہ لگتی رہے۔ اگر بچے کو توجہ کی ضرورت ہے تو اس کی طرف بھی توجہ دی جاتی رہے۔ تو بہرحال یہ بڑی ضروری چیز ہے، نہیں تو بچے پھر احساس کمتری کا شکار ہو جائیں گے، نہ وہ دنیاوی تعلیم حاصل کر سکیں گے اور نہ ہی دین کی طرف توجہ دیں گے۔ بس اس طرف بھی نئی آنے والی ماؤں کو بہت توجہ کی ضرورت ہے۔ نئی آنے والی لڑکیاں بھی یہاں آ رہی ہیں، بعض پڑھنے کے لیے آ رہی ہیں، بعض ویسے ہجرت کر کے آ رہی ہیں، اسائلم لے لیے آ کے، نوجوان لڑکیاں ہیں، غیر شادی شدہ ہیں، بعض چھوٹی عمر کی بھی ہیں، بعض ماں باپ کے ساتھ بھی آئی ہیں۔ ان کو بھی یاد رکھنا چاہیے کہ یہاں آ کر آپ نے دین کو دنیا پر مقدم رکھنا ہے، اس کا ادراک حاصل کریں اور ہمیشہ اس بات پر غور کریں کہ دین ہمارا مقدم ہے، دنیا بعد میں ہے، اور اگر یہ نہیں تو پھر ہمارا جو بیعت کا عہد ہے وہ ہم نے خود ہی اس کو توڑ دیا ہے۔ بس یہ منافقت ہوگی کہ ایک طرف تو بیعت کا عہد کیا جائے اور دوسری طرف اس کے مطابق عمل کرنے کی کوشش نہ کی جائے۔ بس یہ بہت بڑی ذمہ داری ہے، جہاں آ کے یہ نہ سمجھیں کہ آزادی مل گئی ہے۔ آزادی آپ کو ملی ہے دین پر عمل کرنے کے لیے، آزادی آپ کو یہ نہیں ملی کہ دین کو چھوڑ دو اور دنیا پر عمل کرنا شروع کر دو. بس اس بات کا خاص طور پر خیال رکھیں. اللہ تعالیٰ آپ سب کو اس کی توفیق عطا فرمائے. دعا کر لیں. آمین.